You are listening to Big Family Radio. Big Family Radio. Obiase Eye. You are listening to Big Family Radio. Big Family Radio. Obiase Eye.
Good evening. You are welcome to News at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio here in Accra. Now the top stories are: in the local news, minority in parliament have raised concerns over Chief Justice's press conference. First Deputy Speaker Bernard Ahiafo, on behalf of Bagbin, has inaugurated Parliamentary Friendship Association. In the international news, Dr. Gabor Mate has said that Palestinians suffer decades of trauma. Senate GOP faced setback as parliamentary rejected key Medicaid provision. In the entertainment news, Ghana Tourism Authority to collaborate with Tribe Culture Festival 2025 in the US. You can follow the live coverage on Facebook at Big Family Radio, Instagram Big Family Radio, YouTube and TikTok Big Family Radio, and Big Family TV. You can also download our radio app on the Google Play Store on Android and App Store on iOS. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we are back, I would give you the details of these stories and more.
Admission. Are you looking for a computer institution with a serene atmosphere in equipping you with the ability to deepen your understanding and in-depth knowledge in computerization? Then the answer is Big Family Multimedia Institute. Our dedicated and experienced teachers are ready to provide personal attention, support, and help you bring your fusion to bear. We are located at Amasama in Dobrogono, Upper Class Junction, and Santa Maria Family and Friend. For more information, contact 0555 20 80 56 0540 932 188. Website bfmnetworks.com. Email info@bfmnetwork.com. Other affiliates include Center for Trade, Big Family TV, Big Family News, Big Family Radio, Big Family Event, Big Family Multimedia Institute, KabaraInfo.com, Trustees, Okman Motors, Soko Mall, ABK TV Ghana. Enroll now to experience the difference.
You are all that matters.
You are listening to Big Family Radio. Big Family Radio. Obiase Eye.
You are welcome. What's your mic? You are welcome back. My name is Esther Kusiak Bubli. Now the details of the story, starting with the local story. The minority in parliament has expressed concern over the suspension of the Chief Justice following a press conference on the matter. Speaking at a press conference in parliament, Honorable Balfour Ewa stated that despite their reservations about the suspension, the principle of presumption of innocence until proven guilty must be upheld. He emphasized the importance of protecting the Chief Justice's rights to defend her innocence, noting that the Chief Justice herself highlighted a fundamental point about the principle of innocence. Honorable Ewa expressed worry about the situation, pointing out that the Chief Justice's hearing wouldn't have been constituted without a prima facie determination by the President and the Council of State. He stressed the significance of prima facie determination, stating that it is essential for the hearing to proceed. Honorable Ewa added that the Chief Justice will have to answer to the charges brought against her, underscoring the need for due process to be followed.
Taking notice of the Chief Justice's press conference this week. We are of the view that irrespective of what we think of her, there is a presumption of innocence until she's proven guilty. In that sense, it is very important that all her rights to protect her innocence are accorded her. She makes a very fundamental point which underpins the principles of innocence. The point is that, according to her, as of now, she does not have notice of the prima facie determination by the President and the Council of State. And that for us is a very worrying situation. for you to appreciate the significance of the prima facie determination.
Listen to Big Family Radio.
Without the prima facie determination, this whole hearing would not have been constituted. In other words, in the absence of the prima facie determination, there wouldn't have been the need for the President and the Council of State, consistent with the Constitution, to put together a hearing for the case of the Chief Justice. Now, why again is the prima facie determination important? It's important because in going into the hearing, the Chief Justice is simply going to answer the case that they consider, the case that the Council of State and the President consider the Chief Justice to be answerable to. Think about this. Is it not sad that in going into the hearing, she therefore does not have notice of the prima facie case which she's supposed to answer? So, in going into the hearing, what then is the Chief Justice going to answer to? She's completely in the dark. Irrespective of what we think of her, irrespective of our views, let's put ourselves in her shoes. It is simply a case of calling the cat a bad name and hanging it.
Listen to Big Family Radio, or BRC.
Most of you here may be aware that subsequent to the Chief Justice suspension, some government communicators sat on radio and television and said they had copies of the prima facie determination.
To end the local story, the majority leader of Parliament, Honorable Mahama Ayariga, was not mentioned, however, assuming its Speaker of Parliament, has inaugurated the Parliamentary Friendship Association to strengthen ties between parliamentarians. Speaking at the ceremony, Honorable Lesiama stated that the association aims to deepen commitment to parliamentary democracy and international collaboration. In an increasingly globalized world, Honorable Ayariga emphasized that parliamentarians' roles extend beyond legislative oversight to include international engagement and diplomacy. The Parliamentary Friendship Association provides a platform for exchanging ideas, collaborating on solutions to global challenges such as climate change, education, and innovation, and also promoting people-to-people interactions between legislatures and international partners. Honorable Majority Leader noted that the relationship fostered by the association goes beyond official state and diplomatic circles, highlighting the importance of interpersonal connections in strengthening international cooperation.
In constituting this parliament,
listen to Big
we are here to constitute the friendship associations that will lead the effort at what has become fashionably called parliamentary diplomacy. We are here to formally announce the friendship that we wish to establish between us and other parliaments. I urge all members of parliament to take this exercise very serious. And those of you who have chosen countries, let us be very committed to building the friendship. In this age where we are moving from state to state to people diplomacy, platforms such as the Parliamentary Friendship Associations will be very pivotal in achieving that. And there will also be platforms for what is known as track 2 diplomacy, when the former state institutions acting through your foreign ministries are doing their own thing. Individual parliamentarians who are friends on the other side can't always place phone calls and get things happening on behalf of their countries and on behalf of citizens of their countries. Also, these friendship associations should be used to promote legislative cooperation. We need to strengthen the cooperation that exists between our parliaments and other parliaments. And the friendship associations will primarily be responsible for ensuring that these legislative cooperation arrangements do exist, which will enhance cultural exchange, where we have them come over to our country and we in turn visit their countries, and in the process we get to understand each other's cultures and demystify each other's cultures. The personal relationships can go a long way to advance the interests of our country, both our governments and our business community and the business communities of the countries that we are friends with, who are resident here, doing business, and whose investment we very much need to be able to achieve our economic agenda.
Moving on to the international news. You can follow us live on Facebook at Big Family Radio, YouTube and TikTok at Big Family Radio, and Big Family TV. Holocaust survivor and renowned trauma specialist Dr. Gabor Mate has emphasized the long-standing trauma experienced by Palestinians as a result of decades of Israeli occupation, systematic dispossession, and recurrent violence. Speaking in a recent interview, Dr. Mate challenged the dominant narrative surrounding the ongoing conflict, particularly in light of the events of October 7th, 2023. He noted that many people mistakenly view that date as the starting point of the crisis, overlooking the historical context and the cumulative suffering endured by Palestinians over generations. Dr. May stressed that without acknowledging this broader historical and psychological reality, any understanding of the conflict remains incomplete and deeply skewed.
People think that history began on October the 7th. But as a Jew and a former Zionist, I've been very closely engaged with this issue for decades. And already in 1967, it was clear to me that Israel had fought that war to capture territory that they'll never give it back. It's been an ongoing process dating back long before 67 of dispossession, suppression, mass killings of Palestinians. Just one fact I'll mention is that in 2004, there was a psychiatric study of the mental health of Gazan children. Only about 2% of them had no traumatic symptoms at all. And this was before Hamas even came on the scene as the ruling party in Gaza. So if anybody thinks that the traumatization of the Palestinians began on October the 7th, they need to understand that this is an ongoing event that has shadowed all the 20th century.
Following a classified briefing with senior cabinet officials, Senator Chris Murphy has expressed serious concerns about the effectiveness of recent actions taken against Iran's nuclear program. According to the senator, the information presented during the closed-door session indicated that the Iranian nuclear program has only been delayed by a few months, rather than being decisively dismantled. Senator Murphy emphasized that based on the intelligence he reviewed, the program remains largely intact and operational. He stated that he walked out of that briefing convinced that they had not obliterated the program. Furthermore, he accused the president of intentionally misleading the American public by claiming that the Iranian nuclear program had been completely destroyed. Murphy's remarks suggest growing skepticism within Congress regarding the administration's handling and public portrayal of the situation.
Listen, to me it still appears that we have only set back the Iranian nuclear program by a handful of months. There's no doubt there was damage done to the program, but the allegations that we have obliterated their program just don't seem to stand up to reason. I just do not think the president was telling the truth when he said this program was obliterated. There's certainly damage done to the program, but there is there's still significant remaining capability. I walk away from that briefing still under the belief that we have not obliterated the program. The president was deliberately misleading the public.
Still on the international news, Senator Richard Blumenthal has strongly criticized Emil Bove, a former defense attorney for Donald Trump and current nominee for a position on the Federal Circuit Court, for what he described as evasive conduct during Bove's confirmation hearing. During the session, Senator Blumenthal expressed frustration with Wolf's repeated refusal to provide direct answers to the questions posed by members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. You have the opportunity to clear the air, to come clean with the American people as well as this committee, Blumenthal stated pointedly. He went on to accuse both of deliberately dodging key inquiries, adding that the nominee was evading and avoiding the questions in a manner that raised concerns about his transparency and suitability for the judicial role.
Mr. Bove,
Listen to Big
you
Family
responded
Radio.
to Senator
Obiya
Kennedy's
Seye.
questions about who was consulted about the dismissal of charges against Mr. Adams. Did you ever talk to Stephen Miller before you filed the memorandum on February 10th ordering the dismissal of the Adams charges?
Senator, I responded to Senator Kennedy's questions based on a publicly filed document that described the Attorney General as a...
Did you talk to Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to describe the participants in conversations.
So you won't answer that question?
No, I will not, Senator.
Why?
Because it is not appropriate for me to discuss...
It is appropriate for you to tell us whom you consulted before taking action on behalf of the United States of America. You have no basis to avoid that question, Mr. Bove.
Respectfully, Senator, I'm answering that question in a manner similar to several nominees before me, including Judge Katzen.
Did you talk to anyone in the White House, including the President, about dismissal of the Adams charges before the February 10th
Listen
memorandum?
to Big Family Radio.
I respectfully
Obiya
refer you
Seye.
back to my answer, Senator.
I am absolutely flabbergasted that you would come before this committee and refuse to tell us basic facts about a case that is at the core of the challenges to the appearance of impropriety that should disqualify you. You have the opportunity to clear the air, to come clean with the American people as well as this committee.
Senate Republicans faced a significant setback after the Senate parliamentarian ruled against the major Medicaid provision included in their proposed tax and spending package. The decision dealt to blow GOP effort to implement sweeping changes to healthcare funding through budget reconciliation. In response, Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe, where he welcomed the ruling, describing it as a relief for millions of Americans who rely on Medicaid. Durbin strongly criticized the Republican proposal, accusing the party of pushing harmful cuts that would disproportionately impact working-class families. "This is about our priorities," Durbin said during the interview. "We've got to make it clear to the American people that there's a choice ahead of them, one that could fundamentally alter the lives of many hard-working families. The Republican plan takes away while we are fighting to protect and expand access to health care." He emphasized the importance of public awareness and civic engagement as the legislative fight over health care and federal spending continues.
The Senate parliamentarian has just struck down the Finance Committee's provider tax plans. This is part of the big, beautiful bill, a huge portion of it here, along with several other health provisions, including Medicaid cuts, perceived as a major blow to the bill. What more can you tell us about what happened? Your reaction?
Well, the parliamentarian has truly taken a nonpartisan and professional approach to this, and I think both sides have had their ups and downs, but this is a major decision. The provider tax is used by virtually every state but one to make sure there are enough resources so people don't lose their health insurance coverage, and rural hospitals, for example, can remain open. To take this provision out of the bill is a relief to me. I hope it's a reality that it continues to be out of the bill. The bottom line is this: we should not be asking 16 million American families to lose their health insurance so we can give a tax break to the wealthiest people in America. For goodness sakes, at the highest levels, it's a $346,000 a year tax break for the richest people in the United States of America. And to achieve it, we cut back on health insurance for people who are struggling from paycheck to paycheck. That makes no sense whatsoever.
So with this ruling now, what will the fate of the bill in doubt, at the very least delayed, more work to be done? What are some things that Democrats hope to accomplish in these next key few days?
Well, I can tell you the public opposes the Republican approach, the tax cut for wealthy people, by a significant margin, and they continue to. I'm also concerned about cuts in SNAP, the nutrition program for our children and families across the United States. We've got to make it clear to the American people that there's a choice ahead of us that's going to change the lives of many families, many hardworking families. If we're going to give a tax break, this Democrat's ready to give it to working families who struggle from paycheck to paycheck. Elon Musk can take care of himself.
Listen to Big Family Radio, Obiya.
So when still on the international news, when questions about whether Iran had relocated enriched uranium prior to the recent U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declined to provide a direct answer. Instead, he deflected the question by targeting Fox News correspondent Jennifer Griffin, his former colleague, accusing her of frequently misrepresenting the president's statement. His response raised eyebrows as many viewed it as an attempt to shift attention away from a critical national security issue. In reaction to Hegseth's comments, NBC News anchor David Rode and Jonathan Lemaire weighed in during a broadcast segment. While they acknowledged the operational success of the strike and expressed their respect for the U.S. service members who carried it out, they criticized the administration's handling of the Republican discourse. National security requires facts and honest debate, Rhodes said. Lemaire added that attempting to blame the press rather than addressing the core issues was both irresponsible and dangerous.
Listen to Big Family Radio.
Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo Mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally. What the president says. I'm familiar.
Report about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night, and in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that. So we're looking at all aspects of intelligence and making sure we have a sense of what was where.
We didn't get a lot new in the way of actually the effectiveness of the strikes. Right at the end, the defense secretary was pressed a little bit about reports that Iran may have been able to move some of the enriched uranium. There are satellite photos that show that trucks may have left the site prior to the attack. He said he simply wasn't aware of that. What struck out to you from what we just heard over the last nearly an hour?
The failure to answer that question, because what we need to do is look forward. And so the simple question was, is there any evidence that the U.S. knows of that the enriched uranium, the critical ingredient to make a nuclear bomb, was removed from this site before it was bombed? He didn't answer that question. And as you said, he spent most of the presentation attacking the media. General Kane, I thought, was much more restrained. But this is the real question, as we talked about earlier. Will Iran now try to covertly build a nuclear bomb? So if that enriched uranium has been moved, if there are other sites where there are centrifuges, again, Iran can be like North Korea, Israel, Pakistan, and India. Many countries have done this, and that's what I think we as journalists should be writing about. Here is our report, our story last night that I personally published, written by my colleagues Dan DeLuce and Gordon Lubold. CIA says Iran's nuclear program severely damaged by U.S. strikes. As soon as that was said, we reported it. This story has the CIA assessment, Tulsi Gabbard's statement on this, the Israeli statement on this. So many of the things he said just about this mission and just about the press coverage was exaggerated. Hegseth himself, in the very first briefing said Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. What happened to the enriched uranium? And that's the question we should be talking about. It was a successful mission. I salute the men and women who carried it out, but I think distracting people by blaming the press and not addressing the real issues is, again, national security needs facts and honest debate, and that's what's so concerning.
To end the international news, President Mahama to host Indian Minister Narendra Modi on historic 2-day visit to Ghana. The President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will welcome Indian Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Modi, for a 2-day official visit from Wednesday, July 2nd to Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. The visit, announced by the Presidency, marks a significant milestone in Ghana-India relations, representing the first official trip by an Indian Prime Minister to Ghana in recent years. In a statement signed by presidential spokesperson Felix Kwachi Ofosu, the visit was described as a reflection of the deepening strategic partnership and long-standing ties between the two nations. The leaders are expected to use the occasion to strengthen cooperation across a broad spectrum of sectors. Highlights of Prime Minister Modi's visit include a bilateral meeting with President Mahama at the Jubilee House, high-level discussions on trade, investment, education, agriculture, energy and healthcare, an exchange of views on regional and global issues on mutual interest. One of the key outcomes of the visit will be the signing of multiple bilateral agreements aimed at expanding collaboration frameworks between Accra and New Delhi. These agreements are expected to pave the way for enhanced economic, developmental, and technological engagement. Following the signing ceremony, President Mahama and Prime Minister Modi will address a joint press conference outlining a shared vision for deepened cooperation. To honor the visiting delegation, President Mahama will also host a state dinner, bringing together key political figures, diplomats, business leaders, and stakeholders to celebrate the enduring Ghana-India relationship. The presidency noted that the visit is expected to boost bilateral ties, promote economic diplomacy, and foster new avenues for knowledge and technological exchange between the two countries. India has played a crucial role in Ghana's development over the years, contributing to infrastructure, education, ICT, and industrialization. Prime Minister Modi's visit is seen as a pivotal step in building upon these foundations and charting a future of enhanced collaboration.
Listen to Big Family Radio, Obiya Seye.
Now moving on to the entertainment news. The Ghana Tourism Authority, GTA, has announced an official partnership with the Tribe Culture Festival 2025, set to take place in the United States. As part of the collaboration, the Ghana Tourism Authority will provide formal endorsements and maintain an on-site presence at the event, which will be held across New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The partnership forms a key component of Ghana's Black Star Experience campaign and is strategically aligned with the build-up to the FIFA Club World Cup and the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Tribe Culture Festival, a flagship multicultural celebration, will unfold in two segments on Sunday, July 6, 2025. A Hinch Live Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey, from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The day will begin with Cup Quest, a family-oriented program featuring youth soccer clinics, cultural panel discussions, youth matches, and a dynamic vibe market showcasing local vendors. From 5 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m., the event will transition into a 21-plus nightlife experience with live DJ sets and performances spanning Afrobeat, Amapiano, hip-hop, reggae, and soca, along with immersive creative activations. The festival is expected to attract over 10,000 attendees from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and other regions, with participation from more than 100 vendors and a projected digital reach exceeding 5 million. Organized as part of a larger series of activations during major international football events, the Tribe Culture Festival seeks to unite the global Black diaspora through sports, music, and commerce. In a letter dated June 25, 2025, the Ghana Tourism Authority confirmed its endorsement of the festival and outlined its role in the partnership. Ghana Tourism Authority will host an official booth, deliver branding throughout the event, ensure the presence of senior officials at the opening ceremonies, and lead a CEO-level delegation to explore city partnerships in Paterson and Philadelphia. The collaboration reflects Ghana's broader strategic agenda to promote tourism, strengthen diaspora engagement, and showcase cultural excellence on the global stage. It also provides an important platform for Ghanaian artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives to engage with influential diaspora audiences across North America.
Listen to Big Family Radio or BIA.
To end the news, preparations are complete for the 2025 edition of Praise Reloaded, the annual gospel music event hosted by the award-winning gospel minister, Joe Mettle. This year's event will take place on Sunday, June 29th, at the Elwak Sports Stadium in Accra. Gates are going to be opened at 1 o'clock p.m., with the event officially starting at 3 o'clock p.m. Admission is free, but attendees are encouraged to register in advance at www.joemetalmusic.com to secure their seats. Themed Festival of Gratitude. This year's edition promises a powerful night of praise, worship and thanksgiving, featuring an impressive lineup of gospel ministers from across Africa. Joe Mettle will headline the event alongside Pastor Nathaniel Bassey from Nigeria, Ntokozo Mbambo from South Africa, Akese Brimpon, Pastor Isaiah Fosukwa Chijinia, Team Eternity, Soul Winners, Luigi McLean, and Yonyam and several others. Reflecting on the theme, Joe Mettle shared, the theme Festival of Gratitude captures the essence of our gathering this year. As we reflect on the journey of Joe Mettle's ministries and Reverb Studios, we are overwhelmed with gratitude for God's faithfulness. We believe the spirit of thankfulness resonates deeply with everyone joining us for what promises to be a divine encounter. Now in its 11th hour, Praise Reloaded has grown into a staple on Ghana's gospel music calendar. Last year's open-air edition at the Accra Sports Stadium drew thousands of worshippers and was widely celebrated as one of the most impactful editions yet. Joe Mettle emphasized that this is more than a concert. Praise Reloaded 2025 is an invitation for believers to come together in unity and raise a sound of gratitude to God. We are expecting a night of renewal, healing, breakthroughs, and life-transforming worship. Organizers are encouraging attendees to come with hearts full of thanksgiving and to bring their dancing shoes, handkerchiefs, and loved ones for a joyous and uplifting experience. Founded by Joe Mettle, Joe Mettle Ministries, JAM, is dedicated to spreading the gospel through music, ministry, and community outreach. The ministry continues to impact lives through concerts, workshops, and social initiatives across Ghana and beyond. For more information, registration and partnership opportunities, visit www.joemetalmusic.com or follow Joe Mettle Ministries on social media. To read a few comments from my watchers, DJ Lash watching you live from Takwa. Genevieve says fire. Ejata Kobina, if I were the Chief Justice, I would have resigned already. This Chief Justice case is causing a lot in the country. From Ejata. Thank you for watching News at 6. News at 6 was brought to you by Ahonto AA Construction Works, MB Cakes and Pastries, Center for Trade, Williams Pub, Jim Herbal, Big Family Multimedia Institute, BFM Store, Ruth Fashion and Decor, Trustees Network Group. You can follow our live programs on Facebook at Big Family Radio and also download our radio app on Google Play Store, on Android, and App Store on iOS. You can as well follow us on YouTube and TikTok at Big Family Radio and Big Family TV. My name is Esther Akusia Gbobli. A massive thank you to my production